Hi, I'm Chef Scott Samuel here at the Culinary Institute of America at Greystone. I'm going to show you how to make a blueberry muffin today with orange glaze. And we're kind of taking the basic muffin and incorporating some healthy ingredients like whole wheat flour, almond flour, and in place of some of the butter or fat, we're using olive oil. So let's take a look at our ingredients. On this side, we have all of our dry ingredients and all-purpose flour, which is going to give us structure to the muffin, whole wheat flour, almond flour, our baking powder, baking soda, salt, and a little bit of orange zest. Orange and blueberries go great together. On this side, we have all of our wet ingredients. I'm using eggs, buttermilk, and both of them I brought to room temperature. Brown sugar, olive oil, melted butter, vanilla, and lemon juice. So that is going to be combined to be the wet side of the muffin. And then in the end, we're going to be using a sugar-infused blueberry, very similar to a dried blueberry. So using these sugar-infused blueberries, they're a little plumper than dried blueberries. Dried blueberries will work just fine. If I was using dried, I might take a moment to plump them in a little bit of warm water or warm orange juice, and then drain off that juice before I use the blueberry in my muffin. So let's work with the dry ingredients. Our all-purpose flour, our whole wheat flour, our almond flour, baking powder and baking soda, our salt and orange zest. All right, just to combine. And then taking a look at our wet ingredients. I prefer to use room temperature eggs and buttermilk so that my mixture combines a little bit better. Sometimes when I'm using buttermilk and baking, it tends to look curdled, and that might scare some people. It's not a problem, but to alleviate that, just bring them to room temperature. 2 eggs, buttermilk, brown sugar. Sometimes I might substitute some of the brown sugar for maple syrup. Our olive oil, melted butter, that's whole unsalted butter, vanilla extract, and lemon juice. Just to break up the eggs and combine. All right, so when you're making muffins, you're going to incorporate the dry into your wet, and I want to fold it just to combine it. I don't want to stir it too much. I don't want to build up the gluten of the flour. That will make a tough muffin. So I will incorporate the flour, and then I'll incorporate my blueberries, and then we'll bake these in muffin tins. I've sprayed both the muffin pan and then my muffin papers. Okay, so now we have our wet ingredients and our dry ingredients. Let's incorporate the two. I'm going to add all of this at once. Stir to just combine. All right, so I've added my sugar-infused blueberries. And I just want to bring this together till it's combined. It will be slightly lumpy. I'm going to fill about 1/4 cup of batter per muffin. So I've preheated my oven to 400 degrees. I'm going to bake these for about 10 to 12 minutes. So while that's baking, let's make our orange glaze. The ingredients for this will be powdered sugar, orange juice, and orange zest. And this isn't complicated at all. Some glazes you might cook down to a certain temperature. This is just to top on the muffin as it comes out of the oven. Orange juice and orange zest. And just enough to moisten the powdered sugar. And then when these come out of the oven, after I cool them for 4 to 5 minutes, I'll just take a little brush or spoon and add my orange glaze. The muffins have been in the oven for 10 minutes. Let's grab them. They look perfect, just starting to color. They've held their shape nicely. The blueberries have remained suspended. I'm going to let them cool just a little bit before I remove them from the tin. But what I like to do is right when they come out of the oven, I'm going to brush some of the glaze onto it so it starts to soak in, and I'll brush a little bit more once they cool down. All right, they've been cooling for about 8 minutes, and I'm going to just glaze it one more time. This is really tasty. You know, I made a muffin that's not too sweet. The sweetness is coming from our blueberries and our orange zest, the perfect combination. So just to top it with a very simple orange glaze makes sense. So our finished blueberry muffin with orange glaze, it tastes as good as it looks.